okay, I'll say something.
It's a bit cold out here.
I know. Well,
Just looking at me, Ella, tell me about your concerns for this new research unit.
I'm concerned because our universities shouldn't be a place for bomb making. I feel that that universities should play a positive role in society. Considering we face challenges such as global warming and world poverty, I think that the university should be working towards fixing problems like these and putting money into problems like these, not to make profits from war.
Tell me a bit about what you understand the research to be being undertaken here.
I believe they're making defence materials. I know one of the projects they're working on is the Joint Strike Fighter. So obviously they're working on planes, things that are going to be dropping bombs. It's a strike fighter. They haven't really given too much information, but you know, war is war. There's been a study that has shown that Australia, the only other country that can attack Australia is America, in that we actually already have, you know, huge amounts of defence. We don't need more defence. These defence materials are actually going into war, going into our wars that we're fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan. Yeah.
Isn't any investment into the university good investment, or you dispute that?
No, I dispute that. Not everything's good, because some of the companies that the university have links with are actually being investigated for human rights abuses by supplying arms to juntas and to corrupt regimes. So, I can hardly see how that's good investment. Yeah.
And finally, what would you like to see happen?
I'd like to see, personally, more money invested by the government into our education, not into bomb making. I'd like to see more money into making our campus more sustainable, because global warming is the biggest threat. So I'd like to see that $30 million that's going towards the defence, I'd like to see that go into solar panels.
Fantastic. Thank you. So if I could name...
Ella Ryan.
Could you spell that for me?
ELLARYAN.
Great. Thank you.
No worries.
And look at me. Yeah. David, just to start, could I get you to spell your full name for me?
It's David Balsom, BALSOM.
Great. David, tell me about your concerns for this research unit.
They're spending $30 million on sort of high-tech weaponry, when I think the real security concern that Australians need to be worried about is the effects of climate change. This is going to displace millions of people, and that's the security that I'd like to see in research and being done at the university for.
So you don't think there needs to be research into any more defence technology?
No, I don't see the need to have more sophisticated stealth fighters or more money spent on tanks where there's people dying. These are weapons of war which are used by Australia currently to occupy Afghanistan and Iraq. They're unjust wars. I don't see the need at all for further research to take place into these weapons.
So is your objection partly what's going on here at the uni and partly into the wars that these things will be used for themselves?
Yeah, definitely. I'm opposed to the wars that these things will be used for. I think that it's unnecessary, and I think that if we want to talk about security in a meaningful way, we need to talk about security for people. We need to talk about people having security of food and water and shelter. I think that this is security that will provide meaningful assurances to the Australian public.
And just finally, I guess, what do you think it sort of says? Do you think it gives an image of University of Wollongong having this research unit here?
I think that it shows that the university isn't really concerned about the ethics of their research, that they're just interested in getting funding dollars, but they're not concerned about the consequences for that, even if that research is used to kill innocent people overseas.
Fantastic, thank you.
Thank you.
David?
More money for food and education, not for war and occupation.
More money for food and education, not for war and occupation. More money for food and education, not for war and occupation.
Books not bombs. Books not bombs. Books not bombs. Books not bombs. Bombs not arms. Bombs not arms. Bombs not arms. Bombs not arms. Bombs not bombs. Books not bombs. Books not bombs. Militarism off our campus. Militarism off our campus.
should be enough.
Okay, we're good.
Just for a sound check, Jared, if I could get your full name.
Professor Gerard Sutton, Vice-Chancellor, University of Wollongong.
Fantastic. Jared, tell us a bit about this weapons technology research unit that's at the university now.
Yes, the Defence Department, through its Materials Technology Organisation, established a research centre, $30 million research centre, involving a number of different institutions, research institutions, universities included, and the University of Wollongong is part of that $30 million research centre.
So
why? Because we're one of the best universities in the new materials area.
So it's not a $30 million research unit just at the University of Wollongong?
It's a centre that was established by the Defence Materials Technology Organisation, which handles that area for our Australian Defence Forces, and it looks at new materials, for example, for body armour. So we're very good at producing new materials, whether it's used for solar energy or whether it's used to protect one of our young soldiers in Afghanistan. Then that's the sort of research that we're doing.
If we could go a bit further to make this research, where were these sort of technologies being used? Are we seeing them in wars at the moment?
Right at this moment, I wouldn't know the answer to that. I do know that we're making a major contribution to the body armours, that material that our young soldiers would use in Afghanistan. Whether they're actually using this particular research that we're doing, I just don't know. But the materials that the skills that we have at this university are used much more broadly than defence. We use it in health. New medical devices that would give some movement back to paraplegics and quadriplegics. We use it in solar energy research. You can paint your roof and the actual material itself, the paint, acts as a solar collector. So there's lots of good materials work being done in this university, and I'm very proud actually that an Australian university is actually helping an Australian Defence Force to protect young Australians in harm's way in Afghanistan.
So it's university researchers conducting this research?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So we have strong strength in materials, and it's the materials area that obviously attracted the Australian Defence Force to look here for help with things such as body armours. There's also material that would be used in the new submarines, potentially, in the new aircraft. But we're at the research end of this. We don't actually construct the submarines. We don't even construct equipment that goes in the submarines.
Just finally, Jared, the concern of the students is perhaps this money, or the university would be better off researching things like renewable energy and things. What's your response to that?
I think it's just a question of the students not understanding that this is federal government money coming from the Defence Department. It's not university money going into this particular research centre. But any research in new materials finds applications in other areas. So they may well come up with a new solar energy device which would please the students, and that would come out of the research that's being done for the Defence Department.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jared.
Okay.
If I can get you to stay where you are, we'll just get a quick two-shot.
Okay.
Perfect. So I was under the impression that it was $30 million here at the uni, but it's not.
It's not our money. It's defence money.
So that's at the innovation campus is one of the biggest sections now, isn't that? New materials.
It is. Well, I thought. They've just pulled this off.
Okay, so yeah, that's all we have, unfortunately. 6 weeks or so that we need to get the release for. Bravo! Move now out, Shelby. That's where Victor was shooting at, yeah? Yep, and then there was another bloke 200 metres from there.